Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Maybe I should start.
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 608. We are live tonight. It is Thursday, December 26th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Christian.
What up?
And Duran.
Hola.
And Phil.
Even, folks.
So I think everyone was thrown off because I posted on, Twitter and Facebook on social medias about this being episode 1 of 2. And they're like, wait, why are you stretching this out to 2 episodes? Why is this a 2-part episode? And the reason is because we could not coordinate schedules for everybody to be on 1 week. And so with holidays and all that type of thing. So we decided, hey, we're going to do a, this week we're going to do a best of with us. And then next week we'll have some other additional cast members give their best of for 2024. So it'll be the same format and everything like that. It's just that next week you'll get to see, some other ones.
To be clear, this is the main cast members, and the next one will be additional cast members, right?
Yes.
So what you're saying
cards, they'll all say additional, whereas we'll be
the scrubs.
The also rans.
Exactly.
Right. To be fair, I'm like never on because I'm usually in bed asleep right now for work. So
you just get in. You're here to now. I'm here tonight.
I'm just, I feel fortunate because normally I'm not able to get on, so this is great fun for me. So, I checked in on the chat and I'm like, hey, I don't have anywhere to be tomorrow. I can be on tonight.
What a surprise!
Yes.
Unfortunately,
amazing.
A week
In
from
terms
tonight,
of the holidays and seeing family, saw my brother-in-law the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I go to bed at 7:30 every night." I'm like, what?
Why?
He gets up at 3 a.m.
I get up at 4 a.m. now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Just don't.
He has to be at work early. He's an electrician, so he does have to be at work early, but he has a 2-hour morning routine of just taking his time, getting ready, reading the paper, watching some news. It's like you have the morning routine of a dad from the 1950s.
I'm sorry, did you say reading the paper?
Online, I think, but yeah.
Because that would be amazing. It's like you
paper would be delivered before 3 a.m.
No. And he has a giant hole in his driveway, so even if he is getting the paper delivered, it just might be going into the hole.
It falls into the hole, yeah.
Yes, it just goes into the hole.
Cool.
It's one of those folded space black hole things. You throw the newspaper in there, and it just disappears.
Plus, everyone knows that the news media is just podcast now, which is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We are the news. And the news tonight is us telling you what we liked about this year and not taking any comments from the chat.
Yeah.
So we don't want to know what you liked this year.
No. If you want to tell people what you liked and get your own podcast.
Yeah, get your own podcast. Please tell us what you liked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that Christian is being facetious.
You're so mean.
I wasn't.
I am mean. I'm the mean one.
You're a mean one,
Paul's not here.
Mr. Grinch.
Okay. That was good, man.
That was really good. So I came up with a couple categories for us to focus our attentions on in the past 10 days before we got to this show.
So we're not. Wait, hold on. We're not doing a straight top 5.
No, we're not doing a straight top 5, nor a gay top 5.
What about a crooked top 5?
Orientation. Yeah, definitely not crooked. I'm very honest here. So we're doing top 1 from each of these categories. You ready? Your favorite toy from Legacy, favorite toy from
Okay.
Studio Series, favorite exclusive, favorite something else. That's like an Earthspark thing, or a Blockies thing, or a model kit, or a statue, some other crazy thing that got put out that says Transformers on it but wasn't Studio Series or Legacy. A favorite third party, favorite older thing that you managed to acquire this year, and something that surprised you. I guess a figure that surprised you. Maybe not at your favorite, but like, this made me do a surprise.
Does my girlfriend's count?
Is she an action figure?
She's got a great figure.
I'm not sure that's
Assuming
quite
fully
the same.
articulated.
Lucas is like, oh god.
Yeah, let's
This is
maybe
what
not
now-
do living beings this year. So Lucas,
Yeah,
I
way
wanna-
too many rules. Like we're gonna have a synopsis on this. Like, I don't know.
I
But
sent the synopsis
also,
in the cast chat.
Talib in the chat is mentioning about what about do we want to do a category of favorite GI Joes?
No,
I've got
we
a
don't.
stack of them over here. But
Please
I
keep
do want to
them off
mention,
camera.
Christian, for the first time ever, I actually have a GI Joe in my possession.
We are not friends anymore. So that's what
Is
that
it-
means.
Well, it's not
Is it
mine
Cup?
personally. I did not purchase this.
Oh,
Thing.
right. You had to go
Uh,
rescue
Dang.
animals.
Yeah. So I'm muling a
All right,
G.I.
I take
Joe.
back the no longer friends comment.
So yeah.
Because you did a
No, I
favor
would
for
buy
another
one.
friend with poor taste.
That's right. So anyway, all right. So on to Christian. What were we saying?
Lucas, I wanted to start with you since you're our fearless leader. What was your favorite figure from Legacy this year?
Favorite Legacy figure. Oh man, I get to start first. Okay, so here we go. I figured I would
Hey,
do the
Big old
biggest
dinosaur
one.
guy.
his
Dinosaur
ankle
guy.
is broken.
What?
There you go.
Sorry. So, like, obviously he is just a huge chunky guy. I love the, this size class of figure. It's just
Commanders.
so amazing. I think this is the only, the commander class. I just think it's amazing to do that. So yeah, like I think that this is a pretty good legacy figure here.
Nice. I like that one too.
Yeah, I liked it when I first got it, and then I kind of like my kids messed around with it and got like halfway transformed, and unfortunately it's just been kind of sitting on the side, like halfway transformed like I left it, because I need to pick it up and mess with it again. But I did right out of the box, was impressed with it.
Anyway, I'm trying to wait on my printer here. It started reheating for some reason. It's a great figure. Love the presence of it. Way more posable than the original. But it's still kind of obtuse like the original too. Like it's not very intuitive. Like the purple dinosaur, the Barney part of it. I had some trouble with that.
Well, I don't know. I
love
was
how he
talking
looks.
with Christian earlier today, and I feel like that there's a lot of legacy figures, and I guess, everyone else can get to their favorite legacy figure. But I feel like there was a lot of, like, B plus level figures, and nothing that really kind of, like, stood out. And so that's where I kind of feel like that, having Magmatron or whatever is just... Like, I don't know. He's an impressive figure. I never owned the original figure, so this is the first time I've ever messed with it. And, like, it's, I don't know. It was a fun figure for me.
Talib's got a point. Commander and Titans need to be excluded, like they always win. But, to be fair, they have the
if we
biggest
don't
budget.
put Commanders in, right.
They have the biggest budget, so they're going to have the nicer bells and whistles and the nicer paint apps.
Talib, if you want to make that a rule, I will watch your podcast where that's the rule.
Well, I think it's hard because I feel like the commander class is the new leader class. I mean, you've seen where so many
probably
leaders
true.
have just like you know, they throw a Voyager in there with some extra stuff nowadays, and you know, it's I don't know. I mean, I guess that there have been a couple, you know, pretty decent leaders, but I think it's a lot easier for them to do a really impressive figure at the $80 price point than the $50 price point, or 55. Whatever. What's the new leader? Is it 55?
55.
Yeah. But
Well,
that's
look-
like last year, we all agreed that Deathsaurus was our favorite toy of the year for the most part. And, you know, yeah, when you get to HasLab, like you're going to have a higher probability of that toy just like, you know, really nailing it for a lot of folks. But Star Saber didn't. So, you know, just because it is a higher price point doesn't mean it's a guaranteed like amazing toy. There's a lot of good main lines. And I'll say this as a small preview. My favorite legacy is not a commander class or Titan class.
Show it off, Phil. What did you got?
All right.
I was gonna say, what you got?
All right. So my favorite is Cybertron Starscream. I don't like I'm kind of glad Christian, you know, recommended this format, because I wouldn't say he's my favorite toy of the year, because the alt mode and the transformation irked me just a tiny little bit. I wish he was a little bit sleeker, a little bit longer in the alt mode, but this robot mode just is outstanding. I mean, in terms of like just the articulation and the posability you can put him in. I mean, he's just a fun hand candy kind of toy. So, you know, you get the purple, you know, blades going on there. I don't know where the heck his cyber key is, but you had that included with them. And so just for an awesome like action figure that has a lot of presence, this toy really, really fits that bill. And yeah, just an awesome design that I've always liked from the original, you know, Armada trilogy. And yeah, this takes that robot mode and just makes it super articulated and super fun. And I love the proportions of it as well.
Christian,
I'm
let
glad
me
you picked
ask you,
Starscream. Yeah, man.
are you in or out on the Cybertron keys?
It's
For,
nice
like,
that they're around.
Updated. I wish they did something. I don't know what they would do these days, because like they're not going to put spring-loaded, you know, gizmos and stuff in the.
I'm kind
toys
of
anymore,
glad,
but-
because that kind of ruined the toys back in the day. It's like they spent too much time making, trying to do something other than just transform. You know, you got
Right.
all these spring-loaded gimmicks, and they just didn't. I mean, some of the designs were great, like Cybertron Starscream, but you know, stick his key in. What was that one? It was a Beast Wars Megatron. You stuck the cyber key in his dino ass and made him do something. I'm like, yeah, it could have just done. They could have just did without that and made a perfectly great toy. I mean, it was a good toy, but they kind of ruined it a little bit, in my opinion.
There's a fun story about why that exists, but I'll tell you later, because it's an Aaron Archer story.
There's a lot of toy real estate given to the action features as well. And so when you had like the bigger figures like, you know, Cybertron Optimus, and it goes into his guns, it doesn't affect the actual figure itself. So that doesn't impact it. But then when you had like the smaller Scout class, like, yeah, that action feature took up a huge chunk of that toy's, you know, just overall presence. So the Scout classes were rough to trying to fit that in. And even a lot of the deluxes, same kind of thing.
Right. You know, I mean, I think like what was it? Was it Armada Red Alert, or one of the no, Ironhide? Like the entire robot head was just totally visible in the vehicle mode, and it was all because of the gimmick that he had, and it just ruined it. I mean, it was like a great toy if you could just hide the head, but you know.
I don't know. I kind of like the cyber keys. I feel like that, you know, the cyber keys were like one of the last cool gimmicks that I liked. I mean, because they're supposed to be more kids' toys line, right? Like they weren't necessarily. I guess collector line didn't exist back then, right?
Not quite yet.
Really, but not yet. So I don't know. Like, I think I'm trying to think if they're like. and maybe this is a decent topic to have in the future, but like, when was the last good gimmick? We can think about that for later.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
Yeah, we've had like the gimmick show earlier this year, and like we talked about, you enjoyed the weaponizers. So there are some gimmicks that are coming out that are still kind of fun, but like this action feature gimmick has been hit or miss, in terms of even with some of the newer toys, it kind of can,
Evo Fusion is my favorite.
Because it's not actually a gimmick.
It's nothing. It means nothing.
Does nothing. Yeah.
It's
Jerome,
a selling point.
Because I gotta
go ahead.
I gotta dovetail into Phil, because Phil, I nearly picked Starscream, and I'm really glad that you did, because I ended up picking Hotshot.
Ooh.
What a good Legacy figure. And it's been a great year for Cybertron and Legacy. It's like they took the Cybertron Hotshot and said, all right, now he's new again. And it's exactly that. He walked off the screen. He can move all of his limbs now. His crap doesn't get in the way as much as it used to, even though it's still there. It's so nice. The transformation's good. The face is good. The weapon is good. And now it doesn't have a big old spring-loaded missile in it. He's got a cyber key. It's unobtrusive. I love him.
I do like that for both Hotshot and Starscream, that they gave them the parts that move like you would have with the cyber key from the originals, but it's not spring loaded anymore. So yeah, you have his spoiler fins, whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
I do miss that they're spring loaded, right? I mean, I do, but I also don't need that in a collector line anymore.
I also like how I mean, this is not like canvassing all the figures, because they still do it from time to time, but they have really worked on hiding the hollowness on a lot of figures in the last couple of years. Because at one time, it was just like you might as well have had it on the front of the figure. And now I think the most egregious one recently was like the Legacy Skids mold. That was pretty bad. But
waffly.
Yeah, I think
I will say, Lucas, I think there is an action feature with the new cyber keys. I don't like it, but I think there is an action feature. It's called getting lost easily.
I have knocked this one off more times than I can count.
And they're even smaller than they used to be too. So
I do like that even a repaint like Cannonball came with one. I know Override. No, Override didn't she? Did she not? She didn't.
I believe so.
But once they started doing it, like Hotshot has one, Starscream has one, and now Cannonball has one too, even though he didn't need to, because he's from a different line, a different year of molds. But nope, he has one. It's super cool.
Well, I also appreciate that they actually gave these guys unique molds. Like, they're the toy. It's not like a pre-mold where they did, whatever, where they kind of morphed it into one thing and morphed it into something else. It's it is definitely the, Cybertron figures.
Yeah, Vector Prime is not quite that way. I still think he looks nice.
Yeah. Vector Prime, I think, is really saved by his paint and colors. Otherwise, this would be a much lamer figure.
I still prefer the Jyaxis colors.
Yeah, Jyaxis was a better usage of that mold. And then we're going to get it again with the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's right. Totally forgot about that.
And Vector's coming back at the end of next year as a package refresh. Although I'm still hoping that'll be different colors, kind of like the new Metal Hawk is a package refresh, but also different.
Why does it always seem like the show formers get package refreshes? Galvatron has been released how many times?
Look, if it's the age of the primes, which is the name of the line, Vector Prime should be gold. But maybe they'll throw that in an exclusive pack somewhere. I don't know. Hey, Duran, what's your favorite Legacy figure of the year?
I went with. Are you ready, Lucas? Do you have it? I can't dig mine out.
Picture? Yep. Let me see here.
Yeah, I put them in the group chat, but because as you can see my displays back here, some of them are quite difficult to just dig out. So, but I went with Legacy Sandstorm. While I wished that it had the cartoon head, that toy brought back so many memories of the original Sandstorm. I actually I've told the story on this podcast many times, but it's been several years. In sixth grade, I won the Collier County, Florida sixth grade spelling bee championship. And I got like $25 in prize money as part of my prize for winning that. And yeah, there it is. The first thing that we did, we went to Children's Play World in Naples, Florida, and I got Sandstorm with that prize money. And the memories that this toy brings back from the original toy is, I don't mind that it has the toy face. The colors are nailed on it, in my opinion. It's just a gorgeous toy, and I love the transformation.
John, that's a really nice picture of that. Where did that picture come from?
Some bald moron took that picture. I don't know. Right. Yeah,
they did a darn good job.
I appreciate it. That's one of mine. I actually, my photography setup is still over here, but I've got it set up for the black photos right now. But
if people want to find your photos, where can they find them?
Flickr is probably the best place. And you can go to Yellow Wolf Studios on Facebook. Just search that out and find it. I share everything on there as well.
Yellow Wolf. That I feel like there's a toy that's a yellow wolf. What is that? Is that ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Kind of weird toy.
I don't know if you can see right there is an entire shelf full of them.
I'm showing the Sandstorm off, so I don't know if people can see till we like flip back. But one thing I was going to say about the Sandstorm too is it's one of the few figures that has not really had a great third-party representation of it.
The best one looked like a hot dog.
Right. I think you could legit say that the Hasbro one is the best Sandstorm that we've gotten. And like Hasbro's actually made a couple pretty good Sandstorms. I mean, the last one, the Thrilling 30, was not necessarily accurate to the toy or G1 character, but
the Thrilling 30 one was fun.
Yeah,
it's a hella cool toy.
It wasn't exactly accurate, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a cool toy. But yeah, this is super accurate.
Yeah, the Dune Buggy wheels that turn into the VTOL like spinners. That was a fun like little transformation engineering twist.
That's awesome.
I like the inclusion of the rescue cage, I guess is on this one. I really like that gimmick, and it's go ahead.
The lobster cage. He's a lobster fisher.
Yeah. He's a lobster fish.
Out there catching nautilus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lob claw.
That's lob clow. Excuse me.
Clow.
Wow.
Squeeze me, baking powder.
That's legacy. But I do agree with Lucas that this year kind of felt like a lot of B and C figures with not a lot of standouts. I mean, I like Tidal Wave. I like Magmatron. I
have not gotten Tidal Wave yet.
You should before too much longer.
I don't know. I'm kind of half holding out to see if I can find him for $80 at BotCon next year.
I
don't think that will happen.
I feel like that they kind of overproduce the Titans like every other time. So like Cybertron Metroplex is like, if you want it for $80, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But I feel like the Tidal Wave, you're not going to find it for that.
But,
I mean, he's a great toy. I've messed with Orsons, but at the same time, if I miss out on it, I miss out. You know, there's other things I want more. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will try to get him eventually if I can. But
I was up to my toy room trying to prepare for this episode over the past week, and I'm just like, man, everything feels like it's just faded into the background, which is interesting. They're all good figures, right? Like everything we've gotten has been good. And that didn't used to be the case. But nothing this year I felt was like great. Like, holy crap, stop the presses. You gotta get, this thing from Legacy because it's like, oh, it's so amazing. But the Cybertron figures I think are good. Magmatron I think is a good contender. Good picks, guys. Sandstorm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sandstorm was a
Christian,
necessary addition.
To refute your point, though, is like all four of us picked a different toy.
That's true.
So, I mean, there's four of us here that say, like, no, here was a top-notch Legacy toy. And, like, I really enjoyed Shard. She was an awesome helicopter, kind of Springer homage. I just, again, like the action posability with her. Love the colors on her. I thought Sandstorm, I thought Magmatron was great. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think there were some really, really good figures. I think every year you're going to have some toys that kind of fade into the background, but there were some toys in Legacy that did stand out to me.
Good. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's why we don't miss talking about each other.
To be fair, Sandstorm had a lot of the nostalgia goggles for me. I mean, I had some very fond, specific memories with that character, that toy.
What was your word?
My word?
Yeah, you won the spelling contest, right? What did you have to spell?
Yeah, Dieffenbachia.
What? I don't even know what that word is.
It's a household plant. It's a household plant.
Can you still spell it?
Dieffenbachia. And I spelled that in 6th grade. in front of 300 people in a circus tent.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a weird place to spell that word.
Is a really fun addition to that story.
Is that just what happens when you're in Florida? Like you do your spelling bees in circus tents? Or?
No, after I won my school, we went to county, and the county one was held at the county fair that year. And then after I won the county, I went to regional, which was actually on TV, and I still got a VHS tape of it somewhere. I got screwed because it was broadcast live, and I had never been on camera before in my life, on live TV. And here I was, this little boy, and they gave me the word accumulate. I could spell accumulate. If I could spell Dieffenbachia, I could spell accumulate. Well, I got in the middle of spelling it, and the camera's right in front of my face. This red light goes on, starts spinning. This guy starts doing his arm like it distracted me. I paused, and I said two letters twice, or the same letter twice. They went to commercial, came back, and said that I got the word wrong. I'm like, no, wait a minute.
Dang.
But yeah,
who knows what other Transformers you could have bought with that prize money?
And fun fact. While that was filming, I had Steeljaw in my pocket.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Was he on anyone's list for the worst Transformer of the year?
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was pretty awful.
Spoiler, Steeljaw could be someone's best Transformer of the year. Who knows?
Could be in the worst.
I'm glad that they did him. I'm glad that they did him, but he's kind of lame.
Yeah.
I'm not glad they did him so dirty.
Yeah.
Lucas, we're going to go back to you. What is your favorite Studio Series figure of the year?
Okay, so I'm going to
This is where I think there's going to be some homogeny.
I'm going to be a little bit different here because I'm sure that other people will pick another figure. But I am going to go with Gears.
Not a Studio Series figure.
Yes, he's Legacy.
Oh, was it not? Was that Legacy?
No.
He is Legacy.
Well, crap.
Get him out of here.
Wah.
All right. Well, I
try again.
Crap. Okay, so my Legacy figure of the year is actually Gears. Strip that. Gears is really good though. Well, I was thinking to keep out Studio Series. What the heck did?
Phil, what is your Studio Series figure of the year?
Oh, here's a shocker. Here we go.
Yeah.
Austin Red Cap.
MP86 31 Optimus Prime. I'm sorry, not Studio Series 86 31 Optimus Prime.
We said that we can't pick commanders.
Well, no, that's on in Ron's podcast.
That's Ron's
when
podcast.
He starts his own. I will say there is a runner-up that I thought about swapping out to be. I mean, you can't say that this is not one of the best toys of the year by far.
That's one of the best figures of all time, in my opinion.
Absolutely, exactly. I will say, as a runner-up, the Studio Series Bumblebee Megatron was a lot of fun. But this is head and shoulders above that. If you're not saying this is one of your top 5 Transformers of the year, then
you know what? It's also head and shoulders above
all the other figures.
Romulus. New Age Romulus. The Megatron that they
with all faults.
He's not that much bigger. I mean, I think he's like half a head taller, and I'm like, he's Prime. He's supposed to be bigger. I mean, he turns into a truck. Megatron turns into a gun. Why are we griping about this? Size has never been properly depicted in any form of Transformers toys, but yet on every page where I see New Age Romulus discussed, oh, he's too small. It's like by like half a head. You know, it's like, get over it, people. He's going to work fine.
The thing that like annoys me a little bit about the figure, and I know Anna's brought it up too, like it is an absolutely amazing figure, and you know, sure, I guess I can put it in as my Studio Series like toy of the year, sure, whatever. But like the thing that annoys me though is the fact that it's bigger than everything else. So then it like nothing in your collection really goes with it because it's too big. So that's my biggest gripe.
What did I just say,
like
Lucas?
Amazing.
Did you not pay attention to anything I just said?
Yeah,
when his size ever mattered?
It does matter now because that's what they've been doing the past 6 years.
Right.
I mean, MPO1 was the same way, though. MPO1 was like a magnificent toy. It was like one of the best toys ever made at that point in time. And it just didn't fit well with anything. And we were all okay with it.
John, is yours also 86 Optimus?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Mine's not.
Let's hear it. Let's see your gears.
Mine is Gamer Girl Ratchet.
There you go.
Because I knew you all would pick Optimus, and I wanted to pick something different, but this figure is really cool. This design didn't get a figure back in the day, except from Planet X, like way eventually. And so it's here for the first time for me. I never got that one. It's so cool. It takes the take the arm off gimmick of the ones from last year and makes it way better because you can store the arm like actually inside this backpack piece, which isn't even that obtrusive. The axe is fun. The transformation's really fun. It looks great in both modes. He's on like mega sale right now. Please go buy him. He's so good.
That axe is not add-on kit?
No, this is a Hasbro.
Wow. I did not realize that.
How much is he currently on Amazon, Christian?
He's currently $22 and some change.
Yeah.
Please, it's less than a deluxe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen holding up Ironhide.
Talib brings up a good point that they made the Optimus bigger so that way I'm going to be forced to buy everything when it comes out again next year. So, or 2 years from now.
I wish it would come out.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Still need a wind charger.
I mean, yes, mine was Studio Series 86 Prime as well. I have no issues with the toy except for that mine also came with the heels inverted. But it doesn't affect the transformation. Unless you know what you're looking for, you won't even miss it. Or you don't even notice it.
Man? The heels are what I display on my Transformers the most. That's the only part I care about.
You don't just... You
They're
just
all heel first, my guy.
You pose them on their backs, holding their legs up like here. Look at my heels.
Look at my heels only. Yeah, that's the only part.
It's how they let you know that they love you. Show them their heels.
I have all of my figures displayed with their heels out and with a printed framed image of the original design art of their heels, also right below. I don't have a name tag, just the heel picture framed
most important part.
professionally. No, the whole glass that doesn't yellow, museum grade glass and all that stuff. And then the toy with heels first,
Yeah. Orson's actually got the little thing to remove the pin with, and he said, if I ever want to swap them over, I can, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm like, it's such a non-issue. Yeah.
I've seen it both ways, and I don't know that I really care, that it matters at all.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
I really don't. There's some people that it may bother if your OCD is that bad. And here I am, I'm kind of OCD and stuff, but not that. It's like I said, if it affected the transformation to where it's not enjoyable to look at or anything, or it's not, it hinders the function in some way, then I'd be a little bit more hard pressed to, or more pressed rather, to swap them out. But it's such a non-issue to me.
Here we go. I'll go with Talib's pick of honorable mention to Studio Series 86 Swoop. So I'll pick that one. So because then that way we finally get the
robot mode's completed. Great. Robot mode's great. The wings are way too small, in my opinion. They're a little bit stubby.
I think it's hard to do that figure and make it all look right.
I think it needed at least one more fold in them.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That's my opinion. All of this is my opinion. Everybody's...
I think you can get that from NoNav. They're showing that off at TFCon, so yeah.
Probably. I'm sure some third-party company, DNA, will probably do an upgrade kit too. It's just that out of the box, that was my biggest knock against it, is that the wings seemed a little bit too short. Outside of that, I was just happy to complete the Dinobots.
Sure. And that's what Talib said in his comment too, is that honorable mention specifically because it completed the team.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about him, but I didn't think he was good enough to talk about on his own, and I wanted to talk about a toy on its own merits rather than what it did for my collection.
Yeah.
But I totally understand the point that Ron is making here. We've got all 5 Dinobots for the first time in a long time. I guess we had the movie ones in the G1 colors. That happened. Even that's been 10 years.
They did a pretty amazing job with them overall, too. The whole team, unlike Volcanicus, that, those figures were not the greatest.
Not the greatest.
So.
Unless that's anyone's favorite in the next category, which is favorite exclusive.
All right, favorite exclusive. So...
Unless I really cut off Phil there.
Yeah, Phil, did we cut you off?
I honestly already forgot what I was about to say.
Okay. Sorry, Phil.
He was going to say Dub Bears.
No, I was going to say, actually, no. We did get several teams completed this year. So we did get from the Doom and Destruction sets, we got the Trigger Cons. Thank you very much. We got those completed. So that was nice to see. Didn't we get another team completed this year, right?
I am really annoyed by that, the way they do that. They will put out a figure that we all already have in just slightly different colors and then package it with another figure that we need to complete a set. That pisses me off beyond everything.
Yep.
But we're well on our way to the Deluxe Insecticons.
We're well on our way to the Deluxe Insecticons. And I thought there was another team we got done this year.
This year?
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I gotta go back and look. So Lucas, what did you like as an exclusive this year?
All right. Hopefully, you guys let me actually pick this, and that it's not violating some rule. But I'll go with Straxus, and really is that an exclusive?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is. Yeah, it is a fans channel exclusive.
There we go.
So yeah,
did we all
mine
pick
as well.
this? Fantastic.
You can only get it through Pulse, isn't it?
Fans channel, so it's online retailers.
If you guys pick them, then I can pick the other Marvel guys because
those are great. Those are great.
Yeah. Like these are
I
awesome.
never
too.
thought in a million years we'd get those two characters.
Okay, help me with the names again.
Zaron and
Flame and
Flame.
Zaron.
Thank you. I was gonna say,
How about the opposite to you
honestly,
two?
I never read the Marvel comics. Like, I don't know if you take my fan card away. But like I don't know. I never went back and read them. Like, is there a collected edition I can get like here in the U.S.? Because they released them.
There's
in the
collections of them.
Target
right,
2006 and City of Fear is what you need for those two.
Okay.
You can get a. I'm sure you can get a. It's probably very old at this point, but you can get a collection that's got like all the original 80 issues in them, something.
When
But-
IDW is
I mean,
doing the best of UK series, it's those two.
Right.
series
Well,
almost.
there was a UK. They did like bound editions of the Marvel UK.
I think
comics, right?
currently there's nothing in print. That would answer your
Right.
base question.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So.
I would go to eBay because like they're cheap, man. Those comics did not appreciate all that much. I mean, they were sitting on 7-Eleven spinner racks, back when that was a thing, at drugstores and 7-Elevens and all that stuff. So they were heavily produced compared to what comic books today are, and they just didn't really hold any value.
Except for maybe number one, maybe.
Yeah, you got a couple Jim Lee covers in there that have some notoriety to them, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, some interesting stories, some fun stories, some stuff that like kind of be like reading now, like, oh, this is where that came from, kind of thing.
Oh, nice. With all faults on the chat there, it's got 3 original art pages out of issue 1.
Wow,
That's
impressive.
That is impressive.
I'm assuming
If it's issue number 1 of Marvel from the 80s, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I was gonna say, like, just the care that they put in all of the Marvel Comics figures, like, I mean, you could really tell that. I mean, just they look so amazing. The colors really pop on all of them. So.
Yeah, Straxus is my exclusive of the year. Again, fan channel exclusive. What I'll say, one of the things I really like about Straxus is the same kind of thing I said a few years ago about Super Megatron, which is, you had the Kingdom Galvatron mold, and that wasn't a bad toy. That was a pretty good toy. But they took it and like they remolded it to an extent and just made this a phenomenal action figure here of Straxus, who's gotten the short end of the stick a few times. But like in terms of like Decepticon kind of leaders, generals like G-Axis and Straxus, like getting their time in the sun here over the last couple of years has been really nice to see.
My goal as a photographer, I want to recreate this cover with those toys, but you can't. The only thing is that Straxus toy will not do the butterfly to do the axe like that. So
No,
but I'll try to get it as close as I can. But my goal is
buy
to
a
do
junker.
No,
I need Blaster with a Marvel head, or just a Marvel head.
I'm sure we're going to get it. I'm sure we're going to get it eventually.
In
And
a
we
I
five
got-
really like
pack.
Straxus.
Yeah.
That comic that Duran just showed up, and the one that is on this package, was one of my very first issues, and I read it over and over and over and over again. That's why I have such a love for Blaster, but I also have a love for Straxus, who didn't have a toy for so long. And I picked up the 2010 one on a very special day of my life, and then this one is here now
You
to
mean
look
Dark Mount?
exactly like he's supposed to. And yeah, so what did you ask about me, Phil?
Dark Mount? You got Dark Mount back
I
in
did
there?
get Dark Mount on the day I passed my pharmacy tech certification test.
Congratulations.
That was 14 years ago.
A Jordan clap.
Anyway, it was just so cool to see this announced, and then for it to be here is so cool. And I know that people kind of rag on the comic decos, like, oh, look, he's got this little stripe. Oh, it's not even. And I think he's got some of the dots. Yeah, the dots here on the chest.
Mhm.
Dude, I don't care. It looks neat. It makes him kind of look unique from other figures, but not so much that he can't stand with the rest of the Legacy Studio Series crew. So,
Yeah, he's more subtle with that than like say both Flame, Zaron, and Straxus are much more subtle with that than the straight repaints like we got with Grimlock here. Grimlock is much more the comic book, 80s style ink and shading and whatnot.
And he's got the bluish head too.
And even that, I don't think is like egregious. Like, oh, I couldn't ever put that with the rest of my figures. Like, yeah, you can't. It's not.
My thing with the Grimlock, I loved that deco on it. I just didn't want to buy that mold, that toy again for the fourth time.
Oh, give it to me every time. I'm excited for the blue one. I'm gonna have all of them.
I was the one I was most excited for was the yellow tiger stripe Grimlock. That one
too.
Yeah, I knocked down some old ladies to go get that one.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Marvel capsule was very good. I hope they do more. I don't think we've heard yet if that's happening.
Yeah, good point.
But there's several more that could be done. We mentioned Blaster. We talked about Perceptor. I think we had a show where we talked about them before. Like there's quite a few Marvel decos that need Ratchet. I think is a pretty popular one. So
Lucas pointed Soundwave, that purplish bluish,
Soundwave,
the purple Soundwave.
How did I miss that one? That's never
Megatron.
How?
Megatron with like the dark blue head.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? There was someone, I might have shared it on Facebook or something. There was a dude that did a masterpiece Megatron, the MP36, in comic colors, and it looked amazeballs. I mean, you probably Google it, but it looked amazeballs. Had the blue head and all the details, and then had the comic cell shading, panel shading. It's amazing. If you can find it, Google it and look it up. I was really impressed with it.
Cool. Hey, Jerome, what was your favorite exclusive? We talked about ours. Same thing.
I went with Deathsaurus, even though he was announced and everything. I got mine in January, so it made him a January, February-ish. So it made him a 2024 for me. And Deathsaurus is one of my favorite characters of all time. And I think I sent another picture to you there, Lucas.
Yeah, I got it on the screen.
Yeah, I love that toy. They knocked that one out of the park. That's actually a cell phone shot I took with that one. For that one.
Are you getting friend of the show Renderform's new cannon for him?
I saw it. I liked the design of it. It's just a bit too big for me, opinion. And I don't want to. And while I understand it's limited run, fan made, $40 is a bit much for me to spend on a weapon for something that I already think is perfect. So why? That's my opinion. But I wouldn't knock anybody getting it because it is gorgeous, and Renderform does some great work. Azim, I love his work. I think my favorite thing he did was a Skyfall out of Generation
Skyfall.
Yeah, the first one is like a Generation Silverbolt, I think. That was really good. The head, and that was probably one of my favorite ones he ever did.
What's the next one? Oh, favorite something else. Something else is like, it wasn't Legacy, it wasn't Studio Series. It could have been a Blocky. It could have been an Earthspark. It could have been some weird thing that got released that was licensed somehow. That was a different toy line that came out in a different country.
Mine was not official. I did not understand the question.
You didn't follow the rules.
I didn't understand the question.
Fine. Well, what was yours? We'll do yours first since it may not fit with the rest of them.
Hold on. I have to get up. A picture here. What picture?
I'm switching up the order on you, Lucas. I'm sorry.
I don't remember the company that did it, but
it is a Magic Square thing or the Scrapper deal?
Yeah, it's the Magic Square. The Magic Square Light of Justice or Light of Peace, Masterpiece Optimus Prime KO that is oversized. This thing is like 2 feet tall. It's the size. It's bigger than like Generations Metroplex, and it is freaking gorgeous. He's showing a picture of it now. And I think it scales well with the little spike that comes with the MP44, or Hound rather. I'm sorry.
I had no idea that thing was 2.5 feet tall, like from that
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, that's like a little dinner table that I have, folding dinner table that I have next to my couch, and he, whenever he's on his knees, he takes up almost the entire thing. I've got him over here, and his eyes light up, the matrix lights up, but it's a pain in the ass to find batteries to go in that thing. I had to go to Batteries Plus to like special order batteries to go into him. But he's great. And then the little Dr. Wu Megatron that got released here recently, it was like $25-$30. I got it, and it's perfect for a little transforming Megatron that fits in his hand. And also, like Phil mentioned earlier, on my Flickr page, one of the most liked photos I did of the year was that toy holding that spike in his hand out in front of him. And yeah, it's a great toy. It's just really, really big, big and chunky. I recommend it.
Cool.
All right, we're going to do snake order now and go with Christian next.
We can do Christian next. Christian does not have a favorite something else.
Well, there you go.
Says the dude that came up
place,
with the category.
The best thing I can talk about. Okay, fine. I will talk about this briefly. This is Jada Toys Jazz. It doesn't transform, but it is a licensed Porsche that looks exactly like Jazz, and it makes me happy. It does have Jazz flattened on the bottom of it. Check it out.
And shrunken.
And shrunken. It does have opening doors, in theory. There you go. But yeah, it's like the actual 935 turbo.
If I had to
got the license,
pick an
and
official
license,
product,
so
I would go with the Hot Wheels Optimus Prime.
that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
These things are a pain in the ass to find. I could not find one anywhere in this area. It took me driving all the way to freaking Kansas, and I found this at a Nebraska Furniture Mart. The night that we met up, Lucas, I like right before we met up, I found this.
I think I just got a Target pickup order for it.
I was able to find them really easily on Target.com, but never seen them in stores.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat on mine a little bit. And
Good.
My favorite Transformer, something else, was Transformers 1.
I thought about cheating that. Lucas, I was talking to Lucas earlier. I was like, man, I should just bring down the Blu-ray.
Right? Yeah, you should have, Christian.
Since we were I figured we were just going to talk about toys, but yeah, that was my actual pick.
Yeah, Transformers 1 is a Transformers something else. That was a darn good time. I wish it had done better in the box office. I'm disappointed of what the future outlook is for any kind of sequels, but that was a fun time. And I don't know if I've spoken to anyone that has seen the movie that had anything negative really to say about it, or anything significantly negative.
Right. No, that's it. The only thing that bums me out about that movie is the fact that it didn't do well. And so, that they're not going to explore more of that universe. But, and that's disappointing to me. But otherwise, I mean, it's probably my favorite Transformers movie, like that or the original animated one.
How many times
did
you see it in the
theater?
Cut off
your... Say again?
How many times did you see it in theaters?
Only once.
I saw it twice. I started to watch it the other day on streaming, now that it's on streaming, but something came up and I turned it off. And kitty! Sorry.
Oh, I should turn it on streaming. That's a good holiday movie to read.
Yeah, holiday break movie. Yeah, that's a good one.
Definitely.
I'll be on vacation with my family in a couple days. I may make them all watch it because it is good. They'll love it.
There you go. Before I go, I do want to mention before that Talib had mentioned about his favorite exclusive was MPM Brawl, which I'm assuming was a Target exclusive. Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a good pick. And again, we do have more additional cast members giving picks next week. So that
Yes,
may
the
potentially
additional
be in.
cast members. That's correct.
So, yeah.
Did
So,
Talib leave any reasons why he liked Brawl?
No, just that it was like one of the best of the year. So that's it.
Cool. It looked nice. I just don't do Masterpiece anymore, so it's off my radar. But yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah, if I did MPM, that might be on there. I'm like, from what I saw, like Surge's toy of it, like that's a nice looking toy.
I never saw it
in
stores.
I saw it a few times in the store. That was one I found.
I don't make it out here
regularly. And it like you could have gotten it for a really good price multiple times. So it was definitely one of those things that was not online, especially, was not hard to find, and not hard to find for a really good price.
Lucas, what's your something else?
So my something else is the Lunar Optimus Prime.
Oh, the JAXA Prime.
The JAXA Prime.
Hey,
so
someone else calls it that. Lucas gets confused when I call it that.
What?
You don't know what JAXA is, so you're like, what are you talking about, Christian? Every time I say JAXA Prime.
Okay, right. JAXA, there we go. But yeah, I feel like I got this figure kicking and screaming because you guys all have been hyping it all up. We did a review, and then I waited until Hasbro or Pulse or whatever said, all right, I'll sell it to you for 35% off. So I picked it up on the Pulse sale or whatever, holiday sale earlier. But yeah, it is a really fun figure, and it's nice to see Takara kind of going back to doing more of this kind of stuff, of just these one-off type of figures. And I know, Duran, you had kind of showed off, wasn't there a reflector or whatever, like a Canon camera reflector that...
Yeah, it's over there, but Orson got me. They released it in 2023, but the Canon EOS refractor, Orson got me that for Christmas this year, and I'm well pleased with it. It looks like a real camera, just sitting on a table. You pick it up, you automatically know there's no glass in this thing. It's light as hell, but it's got a somewhat simple transformation. The hardest part, whenever you're transforming it back into camera, is getting the lens to make the arcs again. But it's really simple, and it's effective, and it comes with a little tiny G1 reflector that he can hold in his hand that actually comes apart in 3 parts. It doesn't transform, but it still comes apart in 3 parts. Really nice. I'm glad they did that. It's along the lines of the JAXA Prime. I think it more like the music label Soundwave type thing.
Right. But that's what it's just nice seeing Takara doing more of this stuff. I feel like we're missing that for a while, and so it's just this is a really fun figure, and it's something that is unique. I'm sure that other cast member, the additional cast members, will probably talk about him next week too. But
Pazzle Fraz.
They're gonna be so mad at us.
What about Bump of motherfucking Turkey Optimus Prime?
Because it's not here. Mine finally shipped.
I didn't order Bump of. Let me know if he gets a larger release or whatever, so I can get him for a decent price.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one, but for what he is, I don't.
On the way. It's coming. It will be here in a couple weeks.
Cran Box Prime?
Yes.
Orson got a little Jeffrey Optimus Prime. It was I can't remember.
Oh yes.
I can't remember what.
RID 2015.
Yeah, and it reminds me of that because it's all different colors.
Yep.
Yeah. What exactly is Pump Chicken?
The band.
Huh?
It's a band.
There's a band. Okay. Yeah, and they did a Bumblebee before, like several years ago.
And their song is in the Trigger 40th anniversary video that came out this year.
Oh, there you go.
That might be,
which is another really cool other
so cool.
Transformers thing this year.
I watch that every night before I go to sleep.
Wow.
Not anymore. I did for like a month though.
Okay.
That's how my collection looks to me, like in my eyes. Anyway, the next category we have is moving away from official, and we were going to talk about our favorite third-party item of the year. And I would like to go first because I think mine is not closest enough, because I don't really collect third-party anymore. You guys all know that. But I do still do upgrade kits, and my favorite one of this year, Wingblade Optimus.
Nice.
Optimus from Animated finally has this trailer, and it converts into hammers and wings and cannons, and it's awesome.
That is cool.
I love it so
How much
much.
did that cost?
Was it?
It was like 60.
Was it DNA?
Yeah, it's a DNA kit. But it's hardy plastic, just like DNA is known for. Everything has a place. The only issue is that the hammer is so heavy that if you're holding just in one hand, it'll move the elbow or the arm. But you can see it's long enough to hold in two hands. I just thought it'd be cool for him to brandish an axe and a hammer at the same time.
You like him to double fist it, huh?
That's exactly right. But yeah, I thought this base figure, the Voyager, was kind of meh. It's not bad. I think Lucas liked it more than I did. But it's kind of there. But this kit really kicks it up a notch and really makes it a necessity. Plus, it came with this really cool mask. You can have it in yellow if you want as well.
Christian, did you like it better as Motormaster?
I have not opened Motormaster yet.
Oh.
But there's a kit repaint coming for Motormaster that looks pretty cool.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if I'll get two of these kits because they are kind of expensive. But for the one, yeah, I was happy to have it.
It's kind of crazy because that's double the price of the toy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of plastic.
It is a lot of plastic. Yeah, he's really
cool. And it's far less produced than the actual toy was too.
So that is also true. If you're not feeling up to getting the entire kit, they did make a couple of just the hammers in different colors, so you can grab those for about $10.
It's a nice alternative.
Yeah. So that's mine. It's not really a figure like you would think, so I wanted to get mine out of the way first, and if you guys wanted to talk about something more in depth. Lucas?
Pass.
Jerome?
I have one. Phil, did you have one?
I can go with mine guy right here. So I didn't get much new third party this year. I got some third parties this year that were from a few years back. But the one new third party I got this year, I said, I think on the last episode I was on of what I wanted for Christmas and thought I was going to get was the Ocular Max hotspot here. And so I did get it.
He is amazeballs.
Oh, yeah. He is a hefty chunk. He's not that heavy, but like just in terms of presence, he has an amazing presence. I got about like a quarter of the way through transforming him tonight and had to like get him back into one mode to be able to show him off.
He's actually got a really fun transformation too.
So far, I'm liking it. I really love the way the head comes out of the hotspot head comes out of the Defensor head.
Yeah.
Is really, really fun. So yeah, so far into this guy, I like him a lot. I've got the first aid here as well. I gotta go back and buy Streetwise, and I know you've got Groove drawn. So this is a fun set that I'm really looking forward to. Defensor is
you will be really surprised by how well Groove is done. Groove is he's probably my least favorite Protectobot. I love the Protectobots, but he's probably my least favorite because, again, scale. He's huge. This huge motorcycle with a helicopter and everything. But still, his transformation is good. The detail on him is great. He's not perfect. He does have like some problems. He's got these like things that goes around his shoulder. So unless you have his head pulled up, the pointy chin has a tendency to knock on it. But he is so well done, and I can't wait for Blades. That's a great set. But Hotspot, I was blown away by Hotspot.
Yeah, Groove, the Protectobots, like, Defensor is probably my favorite combiner from the Scramble City dudes back in the 80s, just because he had the built-in head. And so he looked a lot more proportional than the rest of them did. I love the powder blue on Hotspot. And Groove was my first Protectobot that I got as a kid. So I've always had a soft spot for Groove. That gold chest and face with the white limbs just looked so nice. And it was just like, for a kid who grew up watching Chips, to basically have Ponch and John's, like, police motorcycle, that transformed, like, that was kind of like the one of the first Transformer crossovers back in the day, unofficially speaking. So it was neat to have that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Groove and Streetwise and Blades.
And they're for third party, they're actually quite affordable, as far as cost goes. I mean,
yeah.
After January, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is not cheap, but he's a doozy of a toy.
Yeah, he's cheaper, let's say, than your average third party. I mean, your average like Fans Toys main bot. He ran. I think I got mine for $219 ish.
He's in that 200 plus ballpark range.
But all the other guys like Groove, Streetwise, First Aid, they were like 90 to 100 each, and that's not bad. And what they do is great. The quality is great.
Yeah.
The presence.
Well, I think that I don't know. I've really been tempted by those MMC, third party figures like with combiners, because I do think that those could fit into a mainline collection, and I've always enjoyed the MMC figures too. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe next year or whatever at TFCon, maybe I'll splurge and get one of them.
Yeah, they're fun. I you might be disappointed. I don't know, because they've been built up pretty well, but hopefully you will not be.
They
I think I've just decided to send my commandos on to Anna.
Talib, he likes Fans Toys Sound Blaster with Rat Bat.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
That's a good choice. I have both the Soundwave and the Sound Blaster. What's great about that one is that it comes with alternate pieces to make it comes by default with the cartoon aesthetic. Mm-hmm. But the extra pieces, you can give it a different face, different like shins, different forearm or shoulders, and give it a toy-esque. And that's what I did with my Sound Blaster. Is I made him. You might be able to see him kind of down here in a corner. He's got like the toy head and everything, but I mainly got him for Rat Bat. Let's be honest. And I will say, Slugfest and Overkill. Slugfest, the Fans Toys Slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
I totally dig that little guy. I mean, he doesn't do a whole lot, but I mean, I never thought I'd have a Masterpiece style Slugfest that was accurate, and he nails it. I was a little bit disappointed with Overkill because I loved Overkill as a kid. Now I'm just hoping they do Squawk Talk and Beast Box.
I'm looking forward to Dr. Wu Overkill and Slugfest next year.
Yes.
John, who's your favorite?
Actually, if Lucas can pull him up, I went with Fans Toys Gary, aka Scrapper. I am totally a Devastator whore. I will openly admit that, because my very first Transformer was Bone Crusher that I ever got. So Devastator holds a special place in my heart. I've still got the Toy World Devastator. Don't plan on getting rid of it. But I'm in for the Fans Toys Devastator, because just nails the cartoon look for me. This is what I always wanted my Constructicons to look like. With all the other ones that we had, they either had some kind of stylization to them that, you know, like the Toy World ones look great, but there's something about their style that is not quite G1, but it's close enough. The Fans Toys knocked it out of the park. The paint is fantastic on it. Transformation is not so obtuse that you can't figure it out. I mean, you have to use a spudger. I mean, pretty much any toy anymore. Hell, I have to use a spudger to transform my Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, because some of the flaps that he has, pain in the ass to get out. But yeah, my Scrapper is great. I'm looking forward to the Scavenger. Forget what they call him, Digger, I think. But
I think
the one
architect names, because Geary is one. I don't know.
Yeah. But the one I'm obviously looking forward to most is Bone Crusher. And on a side note, the Studio Series 86 Constructicons coming out next year, here very shortly. I'm on board for them, and this is my opinion. And you know, I'm just saying this now because, you know, I'm not able to get on very often, so I'm going to put this out there. I like them. I'm getting them, but they're not the greatest. They hit the details that the Combiner Wars one did not. But the proportions on them are just so crazy. Like they got like the huge torsos and then little stubby arms and legs and like huge heads. And that bothers me. Like I look at like the Bone Crusher, like his head is fine, his chest is fine, and then his legs look like they didn't finish growing. You know, it's like, yeah. And I understand that there's certain sacrifices that has to be made with the design. And going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, with the Commander class, they're doing Hook and Long Haul as a 2-pack. And really all you're getting is extra pieces to form Devastator with it. I mean, they're basically 2 deluxes or Voyagers or whatever. Yeah, getting the pants for Devastator.
The jorts.
Yes. But, you know, I'm having audio issues. Sorry. I keep running over my cord here.
You're coming in loud and clear.
Well, my headphones, the cord keeps coming undone here. To be fair, this cord's probably 15 years old now. So, but I'm not really excited as much as I was initially for them, but to me, that's what I have the Fans Toys ones for. I'm all in for those. They are too expensive, in my opinion. Each one of them's about $120. But they're full of freaking die cast. He is heavy as crap. But the look and the size is what why are you booing?
I'm booing diecast.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
see, I'm really curious because has Fans Toys completed a combiner at this point?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, they've finished their Superion.
Superion. Okay. But like I'm just curious, like, you know, after a couple years, like these figures that have or combiners that have a lot of diecast in them, like how well they're gonna hold up with their joints and everything. Like if they'll start sagging or whatever, like with the weight. And maybe they won't, like maybe they put strong enough ratchets that it's not going to be an
That's another thing with the Fans Toys Gary. He's got some good ass ratchets in him. So like the legs hold, like the picture that you showed there, I had no problem keeping him in that pose. And you can't really tell, I guess, from that picture, but his right knee is not fully touching the ground. It's being held up totally by the ratchet. And that's just because of the length of the foreleg, I guess.
Yeah, John, it's interesting. Like 2 years ago when we did this show, Lucas and I both had Menasor as our top toy of the year. And I think the reason I bring that up is like the bar was set so high by Motormaster and Menasor that I take that back. We had Motormaster as our toy of the year 2 years ago. The bar was set so high by the Stunticons and Menasor that Superion and Devastator sort of just feel slightly underwhelming.
Yeah, I wound up getting the the DNA kit with the opposable hands and the leg extensions, the forearm extensions, because the overall combined form was just too small, in my opinion. I mean, it held together fine. It had the look, but it was just, again, proportions. It's like they just took it and went,
Yeah.
And I fear that that's what their Devastator is going to come out looking like too, as well as their Superion. I already don't like the slingshot with the flat, thin forearms. But it is what it is. I mean, official tends to take shortcuts like that. They always have. And
Dino King.
Huh?
Dino King.
Yeah. I've got the Dinobot version of it right here, and it's okay.
Wow, he really doesn't have feet.
Huh?
He really doesn't have feet.
No, he doesn't. He's just there.
Dino King's definitely better than Volcanicus, but it's still just kind of a little bit of a letdown. It's
Yeah,
not a little bit of a letdown. It's a letdown.
Whenever I saw them announce the Dino King, I'm like, ooh, Dino King. I'm like, but those molds suck.
Yeah.
I like my Dino King.
Is the thing. I'm glad we have him, but yeah, I mean, it's not the most amazing thing. So.
I don't like. I mean, I will buy upgrade kits. My thing is I don't like having to buy upgrade kits for every toy that I really like that isn't quite what I want it to be. And I think that's to that end. I think that's why I still keep buying third party, is because I don't have to buy upgrade kits for my third party toys. They're already the way I want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if they aren't, I don't get them. But
that's more than fair.
Because let's face it, by the time you get an add-on kit for an official toy, and if they have if there's a third party offering for that same character, how much is the difference between the official toy with an add-on compared to that might be a good idea for an episode, comparing characters that have an official version with add-ons to, I don't know if there's a third-party animated Prime, but there are other examples like Ultra Magnuses and things like that. Menasor. Now, to be fair, I got the X-Transbots Menasor. The combined mode is a piece of trash. But the individual bots are great.
I was gonna say, I think I got a couple different upgrade kits for the Combiner Wars Devastator back in the day, and like he definitely made them better, but it's not like I would compare it anywhere to any of the third party. Like if you're gonna compare, like say the Toy World Devastator that has already come out, I mean that's
No, I think upgrade kits are for like me when you're committed to an aesthetic.
Right.
But I mean, this goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's like the upgrade kit for Animated Optimus you got there was almost double the toy. And so if you take the upgrade kit at 60 plus the regular original retail of
30
the Voyager,
whatever,
30, 35. So now you're talking
$100
$95, $100 thing when you factor in taxes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I don't think
right,
you would get
last...
a third party at that price, but third party would be, it wouldn't be, you'd get a
Wouldn't be far
masterpiece.
off.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, you were asking what our next category is. We got two more.
Yes.
The next one is favorite older thing that you got this year.
Oh, yes.
Lucas, what is it? Show me.
Oh, shoot. Like, where did I put... Here, you go. I don't know.
Okay, Phil, what did you get? Show me.
I didn't get a lot of older stuff these days. I'm going to pass.
Oh, here we
Ron,
go.
what did you get? Show me.
I did. And I actually had this one handy because my G1 shelf is very small. But I found this at Lexington Comic-Con back in March. And Sunstreaker, I've had this character, this toy, probably 2 or 3 times in my lifetime now, and wound up selling it for one reason or another. But seeing as how I'm not in the G1 vintage game anymore, there's a few G1 toys that I must have just to keep, and Sunstreaker is one of them. Didn't have him as a kid because I never did see him as a kid in the stores. But once I got him, I'm like, this guy's great. And to find out that this was the first mold that actually came out as a Transformer that was designed is also a fun fact. I love it. This one's in great shape. The only problem, I think, is there's some minor scuffing along the edges of the fenders, and the chrome on the spoiler is not great, but overall his color's great, good and vibrant, still good and solid. Got all of his pieces, so I'm happy. And he was like $80, so hey,
nicer.
Wow.
So you can get that, and then you can get the missing link to compare and contrast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I'm like, Prime is all they'll ever do. Then Bumblebee, and they're like, oh, hey, here's Sunstreaker.
RC.
You don't say.
Okay, so I'm ready now, Christian.
Okay, go, Lucas.
Okay, so here we go. We got eHobby United Clear Blue Rodimus.
It looks green.
Well,
he's kind of greenish. He's kind of bluish.
Blue, green.
Maybe it's just my screen, I guess. Yeah.
Whatever color that he is. So I got this from everything that I bought at TFCon came from Orson. I just spent the entire time because I was helping out at a booth down the way from him, and so then like whenever like I would get a break or whatever, I would just like wander down and I'd be like, ooh, like that's neat. Ooh, that's neat. So this is one of the things that I picked up. So I've always liked this classics mold. And so I just like having, just cool looking, like, ones that are a little bit different. I don't have a lot of eHobby stuff. So it's nice to get this.
There's a lot of great eHobby stuff back in the day. Around the time that was released, there was that, and wasn't there like a clear hot rod too, or not a clear hot rod? It was not the blue one, but it was just regular colors but clear.
Yeah, that existed. And then they had the Sons of Cybertron animated one. And, yeah,
there's multiple different versions of the same mold in different colors and stuff. So, but yeah,
Speaking of upgrade kits, the Hasbro version of that mold, I had the upgrade kit. This is like OG third party stuff that turned it into Rodimus Prime with the chrome. Yeah, with the chrome spoilers and yeah, I had that. That thing was fire. I'm like, that was the pinnacle of G1 updates at the time, and now you look at it and you go, huh.
I didn't like it very much back then. Although I would have loved one for Sideburn.
Yeah, and the city commander kind of same
City
thing.
commander's
Wow. And then like now he's like,
Protector.
Right.
That's
you
a
look back
pretty
on
toy,
it,
Lucas.
it's very dated, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That is a real pretty toy, Lucas. I agree. That's a mold that I do have a soft spot for. And I don't know if I own a version of that mold anymore. And that's one I might have to track down because it's so specific and just pretty.
So what you're saying is that I somehow managed to find the Hot Rod Rodimus from Orson before you did this time.
You did.
Guys, I think I could negotiate a trade between the two of you.
Oh, I'm not giving up my cloud.
I'm not giving this up either.
Yeah.
All right.
So
negotiations have failed. All right. So remember earlier when I was like, boo diecast, boo diecast, and like every day of my life that I say that. My favorite thing I got this year is entirely made of diecast.
Aha!
Irony.
It's Vinyltech smokescreen. I got this from Rob, who was manning my booth with me. And I've had the alternators one forever, right? Like that's not new. Everyone knows I love alternators. But seeing this one in person and the depth of the color that the metallic paint allows it to do, that the Hasbro one just can't, it's like, wow. And this totally started a new thing with the 124 scale cars and the license and the sponsors and the paint and it's just immaculate. And it's got a little bit of scuffs. It's like old, which is fine. The rest of us are too. But I'm so happy to have it now. So thanks, Rob, aka additional cast member, because I'm really happy to have this in my collection now.
Ironically, about a month and a half, I got the alternator version of that.
I love it so much. It's so even that's good. Like I mean, you look at either of them, and it's just like, wow, they just don't make them like
out
this
of
anymore.
all the alternators, I think that one and the Mazda RX-8 mold held up the best as far as overall look.
GT40, the Mirage mold.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But but I'm by no means trying to get all Vinyltech. I've had a couple, particularly where they didn't release an alternators version. But when this one walked in front of me, just like, yeah, this has to come home with me, and it did. And I haven't even taken it out to transform it. I just keep looking at it this way.
My only Vinyltech right now.
Skids. Yep. What a cool dude. So our final category.
Whoa, Duran. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lucas. Okay, never mind. Y'all went. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, there was various passes. Something, a figure that surprised you this year. It could be a new release. It could be an old release. It's not your favorite thing in the world necessarily, but it's like, I didn't expect this to be whatever. Like it is. I hope you will explain to me and to the audience what surprised you about it. Phil, if you want to go first.
I'd like to go first, and
Please
this is just a representation of the overall line, not necessarily this, but Blockies, man. Blockies surprised me is like just how fun and good these look, and the price points. This is an $8 little model kit right here, and holy cow! I mean, we just saw the other day the next wave coming out. We've got War for Cybertron Optimus coming out of there, and it's just, I don't know, man. These are just a ton of fun, and they don't transform, and some people don't like the deformed sort of proportions of them, but for what they're excellent in my opinion. I was meh on them when I first saw them announced, but then once I kind of saw them in hand, and my son started getting a few of them, like these are fun and cool, and so these really did surprise me this year.
I felt the same way about the YOLO Park figures too. I saw them, I'm like, more figures that don't transform, but once you put them together, they look great. They're fully posable, and I kind of want one of the metallic colors. Like the Prime and the Starscream, those look
like
great
the
too.
Bigger ones, because they have a couple different lines, right? They have the smaller, the Yellow Park has a smaller line and a bigger line. I think, to me, I feel like the larger ones look a lot better. So if I were to get into it, I would definitely get those.
I think it was Orson. We've mentioned him like 40 times on this episode, but he did like a side by side comparison of the Yellow Park Starscream and the MP like 3.0 Starscream, and it's amazing what the 3.0 Starscream looks like. It looks like a non-transforming Starscream, but it transforms. I mean, and that's a testament, I think, to the yellow part, is that it has that cartoon look. It just doesn't transform, and the shiny paint and everything. Yeah, it's the price point's a little bit high for a non-transforming figure for me, but which is why I've steered away from actually owning them. But I can appreciate them from afar.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, I've enjoyed blockies as well, Phil. You know, I got 2 from Anna. She was like, "You need to try these out," and I got Thundercracker and Blue Streak and didn't like them that much. But I assembled Magnus today, and I was like, "Oh, this is really nice." So I don't know. They may get me.
Magnus' axe is really nice.
But like,
no,
you know, I've got Shadowglass Optimus to build. I've got a couple for my new girlfriend because she's into Seekers. So, you know, maybe.
Did any of you guys go to BotCon this year? No. They were pimping the hell out of these things, the blockies at BotCon this year. And that's where I got to see them up close. And like they had the whole wave, Agabus did, right out there where you could see them. And I'm like, these things are pretty fire.
yeah.
Yeah, I know Paul had a ton of the blockies at TFCon too, and that was like I actually got to mess with them, and Rick did at his booth too. So like that's what I was, you know, kind of before I was like, I don't know, but yeah, seeing them in person, I was like, oh, you know, I might actually kind of get a few of these.
Yeah, the plastic quality is really nice. They look good, and again, you get that that interactivity of actually building it. They're not super complicated. You don't need any glue. Yeah, you're not going to sit there with like tweezers applying the stickers. Just for everything that they are, they're just so worth that price point.
For sure.
Right.
$8-9. You can't pass that up, man.
Yep.
Lucas, what's your surprise?
All right, so my surprise is, and I don't necessarily know it's that surprising, but I wanted to fit him in somewhere. Is Missing Link Optimus Prime, and so I figured that Takara doing this that it would be pretty good, but it's really good, and I was surprised how much nostalgia that, you know, when you get this figure in hand with the box and all that kind of stuff, like how much it harkens back to where, like, you know, I thought, I was like, you know, I'd rather just have the G1 toy is what I thought. Then I got this and I'm like, no, I would rather have this than the G1, just because this is kind of like what the G1 should be. It just feels so nice. You know, the articulation is really nice that they have with it, and it's just you know, a super fun toy overall.
I liked it so much I bought both versions of it.
I know. I want the Sentinel Prime too. I just haven't picked it up yet, but I do have Bumblebee and Cliffjumper coming on the way. I've already ordered.
Wait, Jerron, did you mean you got Sentinel or did you get both Optimuses?
Oh,
I just got both Optimuses.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I was thinking of
just
Sentinel
the cab only, and then the one with the trailer.
Right. So, but anyway, yeah. So this is, you know, I definitely would highly recommend, if you've not gotten on the Missing Link bandwagon yet, that they are really neat toys.
I hope they keep going with that train. I mean, because seeing those old molds rejuvenated in that way, I mean, it's emotional for an old school person like myself, Lucas, where we grew up with the originals of those toys, and now see the same toy reimagined. You know, it's you know, I mean, it's virtually identical to it. It just has more articulation.
Right. You don't have to worry about losing the hands. The hands just like actually like flip into the figure too. And it's really nice, like all the touches that they did on it too. Like, I don't know. I really like thought that the toy aesthetic one looked a lot nicer for me at least. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, this is probably, if I guess we technically are not picking toy of the year, but this is probably my toy of the year. So,
well, that's a strong surprise.
Definitely.
Duran, what surprised you this year?
Lucas, cue the picture. I went with something that low key, I'm like, do I need this? Because I got it ahead of time, and I'm like, do I need this? Not really, because I was happy with the Siege version. And then I'm like, how much better could it be? And once I got it, I'm like, this thing is leagues better than the Siege.
I can't see. What is
it? Is Studio Series 86 Springer.
Oh.
The changes they made in the shoulders to where it can actually go off to the side. The head sculpt is better. It just is a better execution of what was already a good toy. And the colors are vibrant and doesn't have all that like scuff paint on it like the Siege did.
Space Mud.
Yeah, the Space Mud. So I was really pleasantly surprised by it, and I'm glad that I got it. Yeah, it was my sleeper. Holy shit, this thing's good. Nice. Of the year. I don't think it's my toy of the year, but it was easily, whenever I saw the category most surprising toy of the year, that was the first one.
That's why I wanted to include that, because like you said, it's not your toy of the year. It's not like, oh man, this is so crazy cool, but like it surprised you.
Yes,
that's why I thought of that.
Still in his cardboard prison.
Yeah. Mine is Legacy Armada Galvatron. I didn't have the original Armada Galvatron or Megatron for that matter. I mean, leaders were expensive and I was a boy. So, you know, no leader money for Christian at that time. So I didn't know that the colors were exactly like this. But when I opened this box, like, this isn't white. And this isn't purple. This is like some sort of weird cream. And this is like actually lavender. And this like burgundy. Anyway, the colors are all like incredibly poppy. And they're unique. I mean, you think Galvatron, you're like, oh, it's just purple and maybe some orange. Okay, great, done. This is not that. This is completely different. This is Galvatron reimagined and reinvented. And I was just really shocked to see it in hand. You see pictures and you're like, okay, Galvatron, whatever. Oh, okay, got it. No, it's completely different. I've also got mine decked up with the mini tidal wave components. But yeah, that was my surprise.
If you
had a third-party sword?
Yeah, it's just a 3D print of a sword. Okay. This is the Dark Star Saber from Lockbot 3DP on Etsy.
If you had to pick a favorite figure or the best figure of the year, unequivocally, what would you guys say? Yeah, that would be my pick.
Yeah, Studio Series 86 Optimus.
In my opinion, that is probably one of the best figures of all time. The satisfying, the look of it, the transformation, the feel of it, the quality. He is top notch.
And the price.
For a regular release, you can go to the store and pick it up. I was blown away. That's probably the best Prime that we've ever gotten. And I'm saying that because even with MP44 out there and really good third-party editions, that is probably the best Optimus Prime we've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Mini masterpiece.
Yeah.
You went there.
I can't agree with that. It's not that I don't want to, and it's not that I don't think it's good. It's that I know I'm not appreciating it for what it actually is because it's wrapped up in an Optimus, and we get like 1 billion Optimuses every year. So I do like it. I especially like that its trailer is the right color. I didn't know that the Earthrise one was the wrong color. Yeah, it looks nice. I really do enjoy it. I can't see the tree for the forest.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fair.
I think that for me, like, I think it's a really amazing figure, and it probably should be. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, this is probably the last Optimus that I actually need to buy. It probably more than likely will not be the last Optimus I ever buy. But it's, like, I don't know. It does the thing. And like, I think if it ushered in like this new era of like, this is what we're getting from now on, like this is, MP10 or whatever, or MP01, just like whatever. Like, this is MP10, and then we're going to have a huge line of Masterpiece Etic mainline figures, I would be more excited. But I feel like seeing what we've already seen of like the next year, I don't necessarily know that they're going to be able to match this quality.
That's a great toy too.
The Bee's pretty good too. I just wish it was a Volkswagen. I mean,
to me, the Bee is an example of like, kind of like Devastator, where it's like, yeah, this kind of does it, but not quite. Not to the extent of what the Studio Series 86 Prime does. Like this is like close but no cigar for me. Yeah.
And that's why I think, again, like, Anna's been talking about this forever, because she instantly picked up on this, and I agree with her too, that it kind of almost ruins a lot of the other mainline figures for you, because you're like, this does not fit in. This is so much better than everything else. And I mean, I suppose that I'm glad they did that, I guess, with Optimus Prime. Like, it would be super lame if it was like a random D-list character or something. But at the same time, I just wish that it ushered in a new era and not like a thing. And that's the thing that, to me, I would pick Missing Link over it, because we've already seen that the rest of the Missing Link toys, although we don't have them in hand yet, it seems like that they're kind of matching that same thing, and that is the start of like, here's something completely new, completely different than what we've been doing. And so I'm super excited for that. And so I think that, although, I don't know. I think if I had to only pick one toy to keep, that I might take Missing Link. I don't know. It's just such a like nostalgia, toy.
I'm kind of with you. I hope that it is a sign of things more to come. We know we're getting a Studio Series 86 Megatron, but it's going to be a tank.
No, it's definitely going to be a gun.
Definitely going to be a gun.
100%.
Who did we
Absolutely.
lose?
Apparently Phil just is like, you know what, I'm out.
I bet his tablet died. Yeah, no, it's 100% going to be a gun, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But my thing is that, he's back. There we go. He's back. Hey, internet. Yeah. But and I'm not trying to get political here, but it does tie in a little bit. But I think the course of the next couple years, we will see whether or not the viability of that price point, that type of toy, will be sustainable. And I fear that it's going to be harder to make figures like that. I hope I'm wrong, because
I think absolutely. Like, that's just the cost of goods for everything. I mean,
yeah,
we've seen that. I mean, I feel like that even some of the stuff they've released this year, where you're like, like, I'm kind of worried that they're having to cut a couple corners here or there comparative to the past. So I don't know. I felt like that way with Quake.
Yeah, Quake. The robot mode looks great. The tank mode, I'm like, God, this thing's no. And the thing is I was really looking forward to Quake because he was one of my favorite toys as a kid.
And he's one of the other guys that finished off a team this year.
I was going to say, Phil, that's it. That's it. The Decepticon Double Target Masters.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where it remains to be seen whether it will be sustainable and viable in the collector market, because I feel that the collector market is on the verge of a bubble bursting change. We've been going through some wonderful years ever since like the live action movies came along. But I fear that with everything, there will be a decline, and it has to come sometime. And whatever brings that on, it might be different things. And I keep knocking crap over here. Whatever brings that on, we don't know. But something's going to be changing, because Studio Series 86 Prime is what, $100, 90 to $100. Yeah. What else can they release around that price point?
It was nice to see that the Titan class is getting cheaper, although smaller. It is nice to see that is going down in price.
Well, and that's another thing too. The Titans. How many other characters can they release? I can think of like Grandis.
Lots.
Who?
Just lots, generally speaking. At the new size.
Yeah, because that's what they're shrinking them down a little bit, and so
we're running low on giant guys, and now we're on really big guys.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot richer territory.
Rail Racer, Magnaboss, Tripredacus,
Broadside.
The build team. There's a lot of dudes they can do.
Broadside.
I'd like to see them redo Metroplex and like a studio series.
That'll be different. That'll be something else.
Well, no, they could do like a studio series.
HasLab Metroplex.
I think if they do another Metroplex, it's not going to be Titan. It'll be.
But to talk about the other Titan Metroplex, you could make Cybertron, Minosaur, and Quick Mix to go with that guy, because they're really big guys, but they're not truly giant guys.
No,
they're from the giant planet. So make them there.
I don't know. I just don't see a lot of Titans left. And if you start going with just really big guys, I think you'd need to rename the size class.
Well, they're doing Star Convoy in the smaller one, and it's called Titan.
Oh, really?
It's 100. Oh,
I thought he was Commander.
That explains why you
or
are
Supreme.
On this. Okay, no, Star Convoy is a Titan, and Titan is now smaller at what, 150, Phil?
Yeah.
150, 160.
Yeah, so that's Titans now. They're smaller. Star Convoy is a Titan. That's why we're saying like Power Master Prime.
I thought he was like Commander or like a.
He's Titan.
Okay.
The Commander next year, Silverbolt.
Well, and then the Devastate. Well, that's Studio Series.
It's a different line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, Titans are now really big guys.
Yep. So
some things fall through the cracks for me.
That's okay. You're not as involved as you used to be. Welcome back.
Yeah, and that was a December live stream, which is
that's true. It's been a busy month.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on this month.
I do like the what I've seen of Star Convoy. I love it.
Fat like sword.
Nifty.
Was Star Convoy actually
really
a live stream though, technically, or was it a pre-record?
It was live when it was revealed, just not here to us.
Right. Is that whatever?
At least I think it was live.
Cybertron?
It could not have been. I don't know.
Wasn't it Cybertron?
It was at Cybertron
Fest or
Con.
whatever?
Yeah.
Con Fest, whatever.
And then they had a pre-record that I think they put out for us.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they did that right before Christmas, which is what is this, less than a week ago? They did the Instagram video of the other two Constructicons.
The Hook and Long Haul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was pretty crazy.
What
Yes,
is your
sir.
overall figure of the year? Did you say?
I don't think I can have one.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's Tidal Wave, but you'd think if it was, I would have put it on the list tonight. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think I can do it.
Too
All
many
right,
good
well,
ones.
there you go. All right. Well, with that, I guess, do we have any other final thoughts that we want to throw out there before we wrap?
Just
I
freaking
like
Happy New
Philippe's
Year.
comment that his favorite surprise of the year was the Transformer Skybound comic doing so well and having such great numbers. So that has been nice to see that, getting some resurgence in terms of Transformer popularity in that regard.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
I want to say too, I'm being back on the show has been really fun, and because of my work, it's hard for me to get on a regular basis. Mainly whenever I know I'm going to be off for an extended period of time. My work is shut down for a week and a half till we go back the 3rd, and that's what allowed me to be on tonight. And rare chances like this to be on and do something and be able to talk to friends that I don't get to see every day anymore. I mean, like Christian said earlier, I don't think I've seen you in like 5 years, something like that.
Probably.
Close to, yeah. So I want to thank Lucas and you guys for allowing me to be on again tonight. Love you guys. Yeah. It's
Ron, in the spirit of the show, you keep saying it's hard for you to get on. Is it hard for you also to get off?
Okay.
That got the reaction I wanted. I'm just gonna stop there.
Happy New Year, everyone.
All right, yeah, happy New Year, and this is our last show of the year, so I think our next show we're gonna probably do on the 1st. So we'll
with all of the additional castmates. So
with
good luck with that.
Yeah.
One
Happy
more
Hanukkah
thing,
to those who are celebrating. It's night 2 of that.
That's true.
Yes.
Happy Hanukkah.
One more thing too. If you
What you
like
got?
this, if you like this podcast, subscribe, and tell your collector friends about it.
Don't forget it's common.
Yeah,
we're here.
If it's your first time watching, first time listening, we're glad to have you here and hope you enjoyed the show. If you like what we said, don't like what we said, talk to us about it. Tell us about it. We want to hear. That's why we're here. That is why this podcast exists, so that people.
I'll introduce you to
like
Skull
it.
Cruncher and Blackout.
Yeah.
Oh!
I like that. I like that.
There you go.
Pounce and Wingspan.
It's not bad.
Fast Lane and Cloud Raker.
I thought Bone Crusher would have been one of yours, but hey.
Knock and Scar.
Ooh.
Skins
not
and
gonna
mud
beat you
flap.
Will this be our next
Please come see
show
us.
topic, right? We
I'm talking
just
to
go
us.
through
Whatever.
this or whatever.
What can
so.
you name your fists that are Transformers names?
Right. All right.
And
thanks,
remember,
guys.
that's
Thank
what
you.
she said.
Yes. Thank you to everyone in the
not
chat,
say
and
that.
we will see everyone next year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye.
Happy
Happy New Year, y'all.